incident in North Darfur, activists report that 14 civilians were killed and several others were injured in artillery shelling by the Rapid Support Forces at the Nevasha market in Abu Shu camp, located north of El Fasher. The attack targeted the market, along with nearby homes and mosques, against a backdrop of severe conditions in the camp, where shortages of food, medicine, and functioning health services have worsened the humanitarian crisis. The RSF's ongoing shelling is part of an effort to forcibly displace remaining residents, leaving many to seek shelter underground for safety. Civilians continue to suffer daily from indiscriminate attacks as water sources, medical facilities, and markets are destroyed. The RSF has also intensified its siege on El Fasher, further devastating the region's already limited supply of basic goods and displacing more residents. Now we have guests joining us, Mahmoud Muhammad Nuruddin, from journalist live from Ghana. So can you walk us through the broader crisis unfolding in North Darfur, particularly in and around Al Fasher?
Well, Al Fasher was not under the control of the Rapid Support Forces until recent attack. So it wasn't under the control of the Rapid Support Forces, though it is near the Zamzam camp, which the forces seized in April. So it was a target, but it wasn't under the control of the RSF. So since as at April this year, over 150 people have lost their lives, and the crisis is becoming more difficult because foreign diplomatic efforts have failed, mediation attempts have also failed, and there are reports that foreign powers have taken sides, some fueling the conflict with weapons and political backings. And so it is becoming difficult in that part of the country, and thousands of people have left the countries, some have died, schools have closed down, hospitals are not working, and all that. And so it is becoming difficult to get a solution to this particular crisis in Darfur region.
And is the Sudanese army or any other groups managing to deliver humanitarian aid, or are there obstacles in place?
Hello?
Hello. Okay. Let me repeat the question. Is the Sudanese army or any other groups managing to deliver humanitarian aid, or are there obstacles in place?
Yes, so there are other humanitarian support for the citizens of Sudan, but like I mentioned, some of them have left the country, and if you look at the figures that we are having here, over 14 million people in Sudan have been forced out of their homes, 11.5 million within Sudan, and at least 3.5 million have moved to neighboring countries like Egypt, Chad, South Sudan, among other countries. So it is becoming difficult even for some of the humanitarian support to get to the people, especially where these crises are, where these people are being killed. If you remember, in April this year, some medical doctors were killed. To the citizens were also killed. So it is becoming difficult for them to get to this point because they are aware that when they get there, they will be killed. And so this is one of the world's worst humanitarian crisis that UN has described. And so in order to get food to these people, especially those in camps, it means that they will need to be provided with protections, which even those people are targets now.
And what are the latest developments on ceasefire negotiations? Like, has there been any movement towards a resolution?
That is also a very difficult thing right now because, like I mentioned earlier, there is diplomatic efforts have failed. We know that Sudan historically has been a conflict area. Even before the country gained independence, it has always been a conflict area, and even after the independence, there was still conflict. And you remember after the removal of the long-time President Omar al-Bashir in 2019, people thought that the situation was going to be normalized, peace was going to return to Sudan. But unfortunately, since 2019 till now, there hasn't been peace in Sudan. I mean, incidences, different kind of incidences occur in that country. And so once we have for a diplomatic efforts failing and we have mediation attempts also failing, it becomes difficult to know when this crisis will come to an end. And so people are wondering what actually would bring an end to this crisis in Sudan.
And according to you, what do you think, what kind of diplomatic pressure is being applied on Sudan's government to stop these attacks?
So this is a conflict. This is, an issue between
there's a network issue, so we are going to move forward with our story. Thank you so much, Mahmoud Muhammad Nuruddin, for joining us. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue to bring more news updates from around the world.